how self-care helped me find peace and parent better. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9-to-9 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.
Helping you build freedom without losing your edge. This is the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels.
How self-care helped me find peace and parent better. This is an episode. If you have ever been frustrated because while you're at work, you want to be at home, and while you're at home, you want to be at work, like getting things done or investing time with family. If you've gotten stuck in that struggle, like just give me a couple minutes, and this very brief episode is going to help you to unlock, and so that you are getting to the point where I was in the end, not where I was at the very beginning. Because during my corporate career, like as an executive, rising up the ranks, being the primary breadwinner in my household, and also feeling guilty for taking time off, like always wanted to be on, because that was the way that I learned, coming from the background that I came from, that was the way that I showed that I cared for other people, was by completely being there all over the time, being anywhere, everywhere, all the time to get stuff done, right? To get stuff done, not to get done, to get stuff done, right? Because at the end of the day, I wanted to make everybody feel okay. I wanted everybody to know that I was there to fix the issues, to get things done, and help move whatever agenda was supposed to be moved forward. And so, at the same time, I got to a certain point, I was like, you know what? I just want to feel good with doing the things that I was doing without feeling constantly exhausted. Because as I was working constantly, never shutting down, always being on, I gotta admit, there was some mental and physical fatigue. A lot of it was mental, like a lot of mental fatigue that I was just constantly going, because I was running all day, not literally running, but like from the moment I woke up, brain on fire, continuing to work, working at home, getting things done at home, spending time with the kids, getting all of the things done that I wanted to be able to do. And then, connecting into the matrix and working in the office all day, all evening, escalations, client calls, quarterly business reviews, one-on-ones, blah, 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 right? Anytime everyone else got all of my energy, the thing is I felt like almost every single day, like I got whatever energy was left. Right. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but if you've been at that point where everybody else gets all of your energy and you barely get what is left, or what you get is what's left over, when that happens over a long period of time, it can feel very, very depleting, very demotivating. And I needed to get to a point where I wanted to feel okay. And I remember having this conversation with one of my mentors, and that's part of why I'm sharing this with you, right? Because if I was there, you've probably been in a similar situation, but my mentor said something that literally turned the way that I was feeling on its head, because I felt like going is how I showed that to everybody that I loved them, and that I was able to do more and more and more. But he said, you know what, Billy, everyone gets the best of you when you feel well, when you feel energized, when you don't feel exhausted. And I was like, what do you mean? Like inside of my brain, I thought to myself, like, hang on a second. And then he gave me one very specific exercise, and he asked me to look at my calendar. And so the calendar review helped me to highlight a couple of things that he was wanting to make a point, because this was about my energy, and this was about me being able to take care of myself. And when I realized that, like, I was going, there was no time in the calendar that was just for me, that was sitting in reflection, that was sleeping an adequate amount of time. Like, I'm fortunate also too, I don't need a lot of sleep. So I was getting the sleep that I felt that I needed, but at a certain moment in time, there may be moments where I needed to rest more, even intermittently throughout the day. But once I reviewed my calendar, it was pretty clear the message that he was sharing with me. There was never a moment in time that I was stopping to take care of myself, regardless, not even thinking about taking care of myself first. And so what that meant was there was not just the sleeping in the evening. And like I said, I don't need much sleep. Like, I'm a guy who needs 6 hours of sleep, like sound sleep. Some people need, more than that, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever. I'm fortunate I need 6. But what I started to realize and what became glaringly obvious is that there was no time for reflection. There was very little to no time for consistent exercise. And so I realized that these were the types of actions beyond just sleeping that I needed to start putting in my calendar for myself, because this meant that when I was beginning to, and I come back to this thing over and over and over, when I began to set boundaries and not just set them, but respect them, then things started changing. Now, I have to admit, it felt really, really weird, especially in the beginning. And to some extent, even today, like this is something that I'm consciously aware of that I have to fight against because I want to always be giving to other people constantly. But the thing is if I don't stop and take care of myself first, which is why I want to share this with you, because what I started realizing was when I started carving out time and I worked through that feeling of it feeling weird and feeling uncomfortable, something amazing started to happen. I started carving out time for myself. I started to prioritize that time, meaning sleeping well. If I needed to take a 12-minute nap during the day, guess what I did? I turned my phone off, I laid on the couch, and I just breathed for 12 minutes. Yes, I did say 12 minutes. Anybody who knows me, you know it's true. So phone off, nobody can touch me for 12 minutes at all. And I started to protect that time. I prioritized it. I found the time, I prioritized it, and I protected it. But the thing that goes beyond that, and it comes back to how self-care helped me to find peace and parent better, is what I realized is that when I took those moments out for myself, whether it was the 12-minute naps or it was the walking during the first thing in the morning or running or jogging, people, if you watch depending on how you're connected to me, you see some of this stuff because I like to share it, right? I started feeling better, personally feeling better. I had much less of the brain being on fire because I was prioritizing myself and my self-care. I put the boundaries in place. And guess what? I started showing up even more, not just physically, but mentally present at home. I focused more on when I was at home with the family. When I was at work, I was with the work. I was learning to be where my feet were. That was the beginning. And being a parent who shows up every day consistently and physically and mentally present, there's no feeling like that. It's amazing. And at the end of the day, what I realized by prioritizing putting my self-care was that I won. And when I won, my family won and my kids won, right? That is such a major driver in my life. My kids won. And when I was working in my corporate job, the 9 to 5, my corporate job won. And when I was building my business on the side, my team, the 5 to 9 won. And so that's why I wanted to share that with you, because I struggled with this for a long time. And if you struggle with putting yourself first, it's understandable because that's probably the way that you've been taught to show that you love others. But when you are exhausted, when you give yourself the crumbs at the end of the day, it's very difficult, almost impossible for you to be the best version of you, to show up, to be confident, to parent as best as you can. And so that's why I'm sharing this episode with you. It's about prioritizing your self-care, setting your boundaries, and respecting your boundaries. And if it's not you, if it's somebody that you want to share the episode with, share it. And then show that you care by getting on the phone, talk to them about the episode, what you learned together, and then go from theory to practice. And while you're doing that, as I say, guess where I'll be? I'll be right here. Yes, I will, preparing for the next episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very, very much.